Hey, good morning, Facebook family. Welcome to another episode of the Daily Dose. Sorry I'm a little late. It's a little after 8 a.m. show. We were running the dog out before it got raining, and then I was getting ready to do the show at 8 o'clock outside, and it started to rain, and I got the kids sleeping. So we're in my home away from home office in the Jeep. So today we're going to talk about overrated things for fat loss. There's lots of things that are just truly overrated. And not to say that some of them may not work, but they're way overrated. And let's just run through them. Let's just cut to the chase. I listed them. They're already there for you. You can follow along. Number one, I even wrote them down because this old brain, 10 things, I can remember maybe one thing. And you and I both know the only thing you can do well when you do less things, you do them better, right? So I wrote them down so I wouldn't forget. Number one, high intense interval training. Now, that's the buzzword. It's been around for not really forever and ever, but probably like the last maybe 10 years. And high intense interval training does it work? Yes, it can work. Is it overrated? Yes. And I would say, specifically speaking to the parents out there, your moms and dads out there, you're in your 40s, maybe you have teenagers, and you know, like, oh, I got to work hard to get the results, right? Well, you got to work smart. And when sometimes you get pulled into, say, a high intense interval workout, and they say, oh, you can burn 1,000 calories, you can do this and that, you're maybe doing something that's not appropriate for you. So I say, while high intensity does have its value, you have to be very careful. It's not like you're like 20 years old, you can just like jump into any workout and then probably kill the workout and do really, really well. When you get older, you got to be careful. We got joints that are screaming at us that maybe we've been sitting in a desk too long, or maybe you've overdone it. So high intense interval training, while it does have value, it is way overrated for fat loss, especially if you're not prepared. So be careful if you're jumping into a workout plan, you're starting a New Year's resolutions, you're getting going, to just be careful before you go jumping into the high intense interval training. You can burn 1,000 calories, right? That's number one. Number two, cardio. Number two, cardio is overrated. Does cardio work for fat loss? Yes. But I don't know why still people believe. And you know what? You can lose fat. The problem is you need so much of it. Now, I am speaking directly to, again, my busy moms and dads out there. If you're over 40, 50, even 60, even if you're retired, chances are you're busy. Schedules and lives are busy. Holiday season, kids, grandchildren. Maybe you're doing some traveling now. We're allowed to. Maybe you're partly retired, you're semi-retired, whatever you want to call it. And the hard thing about cardio, I talked to somebody the other day, and they're like, yeah, we've been walking, we're doing 20,000 steps a day or 30,000 steps a day. The problem is it takes too much time. It takes a lot of time when you can actually be doing something smarter. So yes, can you lose weight with like slow cardio? The problem also is your body gets adapted to that cardio. So you want to make sure that your body is challenged. And if you're doing the same slow, boring walk or workout on a treadmill or on an elliptical or any kind of exercise, even on a bike, if you're doing that same thing and you're doing slow, chances are maybe you got results in the beginning, fat loss, but then you got your body used to it, and then you didn't change any of the parameters, and next thing you know, you're not getting results. So it's really an let's see, good. Okay, I got disconnected there, but we're ready. Number three, keto. Again, here's the problem with keto. And I've talked to hundreds and hundreds of people, and there's always going to be one. And if you want to bash me, it's fine. But 99% of the people that do keto, it makes you angry. You get pissed off because you have that early success. If I'm right, if this happened to you, feel free. You can own it. You say, yeah, I did it. I lost the weight. And then as soon as all right, there we go. I'm back. As soon as I went off keto, then guess what? The weight came back on, and I put more back on. Next thing you know, then I just got frustrated, and it just made me angry. So yes, can you lose weight? I'm not talking about just weight. I'm talking about fat loss, right? The problem is you lose everything, right? With keto and any of those other kind of diets. Number four, fat burners. Fat burners is another one. Oh my goodness, you're just bought into the packaging, fat burners, burn all this extra stuff. again, it's going to piss you off because you're going to realize it isn't going to work at the end of it. You still have to exercise. You still have to eat healthy. Fat burners is a joke. So don't bother wasting your hard-earned money on fat burners. Let's just move on because that's just a dumb one. Number 5, seaweed wraps. All right. Seaweed wraps. Are they wrapping your mouth so that you don't eat? I don't really quite understand, right? The premise behind it. It isn't going to magically remove all this fat off of your body. So stop wasting your time. Seaweed, if you like sushi, seaweed is meant to eat. Well, I don't know if all of you will think that, but a good seaweed salad is delicious. It shouldn't be slapped on your body to take the weight off or take the fat off. Again, it's overrated. Maybe there's a little bit of benefit, but to be honest with you, sorry if you've done the seaweed wraps. If you're saying, oh yes, it worked. I haven't met anybody, and I've been doing this for a long time, that has had long-term success. It could prove that it's taken fat off their body. Let's move on because that's just another dumb one. Number 6, cool sculpting. That's probably another one. Sculpting. You can just sit on a table and they can just sculpt it away. Cool sculpting. Again, okay, let's just move on. We don't even need to talk about that one. Cool sculpting. Maybe there's a little bit of benefit, but again, it's overrated. Very, very mass marketed to you. Yeah, you're sold into believing that, but again, you still have to do work, people. Just please know that. Number 7, let's just move on because I just want to be done with that one. Supplements. All right. Supplements. There's an interesting one. Do I believe supplements can be helpful? Absolutely. If you're deficient in something, my wife will be the first to say, if you go to your doctor and your doctor's telling, hey, you're iron deficient, or you have this deficiency, or maybe you have this in your diet and you need to change that, and you can't have fiber because of your gut issues and those types of things. Yeah, supplements does have its place, but it's way overrated. In fact, I think people rely and think like supplements are like the magic pill, but the reality is there is no magic pill to this. Supplements will have some value, but highly overrated. So let's move on from there. And again, I do a protein shake. I have a whole food vitamin that I take, but aside from that, it's not even a vitamin, a whole food supplement. I take it, but it's way overrated as far as fat loss goes. Let's move on. Number 8, intermittent fasting. Ooh, maybe I'm going to get bashed for this one. Jimmy crack corn and I don't care. So how this works with intermittent fasting, can you? There's nothing special about it, to be honest with you. Have I even had some of my students in my coaching program fast on occasion? Yes, really just purely to remove a bunch of calories. That's it. Like really to remove some calories out of your diet. Yes, will it help you if it works? Yes, but it's way overrated. It comes down to calorie deficit, people. If you want to lose weight, you look at how much you're burning, you look at how much you're consuming, and you look to see where the deficit needs. It's a checks and balances. Of course, the quality of calories is going to be important, so you need to understand that. You also need to understand how much your body needs based on your activity level and what your daily lifestyle is like, right? That's helpful too. But in general, intermittent fasting, it doesn't matter to me if you eat 1 meal a day, 3 meals a day, 6 meals a day. You can eat after 8, eat before 5. It really, honestly, in the grand scheme of things for fat loss, it truly is way overrated for intermittent fasting. So again, you start getting on these bandwagons. Why am I bringing this up? I want to encourage you to look beyond all of these schemes, if you will, that are going to try to draw your attention in this new year, because you're coming out of Thanksgiving feeling right? You still like, oh, I still feel that pumpkin pie in my body. And guess what? Here comes another round of holidays, right? You know, back to back, Thanksgiving, Christmas, and everything in between, and all of those Christmas parties at the office, and all of those extra cocktails, and all those extra desserts, and all those extra nights out. They're going to add up, and you're going to start saying, well, what should I do? What's the quickest, easiest thing to do? Oh, I'll just do keto. I'll just do HCG, which is the next one. Or I'll just do intermittent fasting. And guess what? It is not like it's overrated. Those things are far overrated. So the other one, which is HCG, well, of course you can lose weight only eating 500 calories and giving yourself injections, right? Like that, and then having to buy all this crazy supplements and food. Of course you're going to lose weight, but it is way overrated again. As soon as you stop, there's no habits change. Just like keto, just like a lot of those that I just talked about, the fat burners, all those things, as soon as you go off of them, guess what? Then your results just go away, and it's just going to make you angry. I think overall with these, what I want you to do is to get angry before you sell yourself into believing one of these again. To get angry before versus getting angry with yourself because you just went down that road again of thinking it's going to be quick and easy and sort of painless. and let me just do this diet to get this weight back off from the holidays. And then guess what? That vicious cycle that just keeps going around and round every year, it's going to do damage to your body, big time damage to your body. I know for a fact, I've seen it, where you end up, it's not just, hey, well, I'm older and my metabolism is not the same in my body. And, I have my hormones are up. Why do you think? Because you've been going on these screwy diets for your whole life. And you've been up and down and up and down, and your body is pissed off at you. Number 10, this one's a big one. And I'll tell you what, up until really just, it's been around for a while. I know I've had people in my gym when I owned that 6 years ago. For about 6 years I had it for, and there was people, and I've talked to people, and I know the gastric bypass and the sleeve and all that stuff's been around for the extreme weight loss. Yes, can you remove fat from that? Obviously. The problem is the back end, the after, the recovery process, the body that gets destroyed after. The doctor's not going to tell you, of course, maybe it's a life or death, and that's a different story, right? So again, medically speaking, if it's life or death, then okay, like go talk to your doctor and see. But it's way overrated, because I think people just say, well, I'm about 50 pounds overweight, 60 pounds overweight, 80 pounds overweight. Why don't I'm just going to wait till I get around 100, and then I'm going to go to my doctor and then just, have him put the sleeve on me. And then I can tell you, my wife's a GI specialist. She sees, and I've said this before in videos time and time again, so many people with so many issues after the fact. They've had their body jacked up from having these sleeves put in. And I even worked with, I had a program at my gym for women who had these surgeries, these bypass surgeries, who had success, lost the weight, pay attention, lost 100, 150, 200 pounds. And then guess what? And then over time, none of the habits were changed. They just were eating less, and they had their bodies go the other direction. They put the weight back on. Like, can you imagine mentally what that would do to you if you went all the way to the extreme of getting the bypass surgery, and then you had the weight come back on, and you changed some things, you moved some things, you ended up figuring out a way to put weight back on, regardless of how that was? And can you imagine the mental toll that's taken on your body? So again, 10 things, overrated things. Now, of course, you want to know, well, like, what are some underrated things? Give me a mark. Okay, you're telling me all these overrated things. Oh, what are you going to just say? Coaching? Like, yeah, well, obviously, having a coach can help you. That's just one of the things. And I don't even want to talk about that, because if you have somebody, an expert, like you would do if you go to a doctor and you need an expert to tell you whether or not you need to be on medication, whether or not you need to change your life around, whether or not you need surgery, yes, you're going to go to an expert. I'm in my car now. When my car would say if it's going to break down, what am I going to do? I'm not a car expert. I'll take it to the car expert. If I get in an accident, what am I going to do? I'm going to call my insurance company first. And then guess what? I'm going to take it to the shop where the experts can fix it, right? When your kids are in school, right? When they're in there, and maybe they're like, our kids are doing exams, they're taking their big exams, and it's hard. So we get the experts to help them. You have a tutor that can help them with that. Does that make sense? It's no different than when it comes to your own personal health, as you have experts. So that's just the coaching side of it. But as far as the other things, simple things, underrated, sleep is underrated for fat loss. Sleep is one of the most underrated things. You get good night's sleep, your body rests, it recovers. It allows your body to basically digest what's happened that day. If you had a good workout, you're able to recover. Your muscles are able to get stronger during that time. You recover, guess what? The stress levels of the next day, when your body is able to shut down and relax at night, the next morning, chances are, even if you had stress there, you have a new day and your body is more prepared for it. Walking, yes, I mentioned cardio, but walking, something as simple as walking. I think people think they need to have the most intense workout program to get the weight off, get the fat off. And the reality is, I know people that are just changing their habits and adding in a walking routine and are getting amazing results and losing a lot of fat, right? Fruit, I know for a fact, fruit is not the enemy. You can actually lose weight if you have some fruit in your diet, like real fruit. I'm not talking about juicing or any kind of crazy, all those types of things. Just having a couple of pieces of fruit per day. Yes. Oh no, Mark, but fruit has sugar. Come on. There's not one person that I've actually met that put on 50 pounds because they ate too much fruit, right? I think that's safe to say. Eggs gets a bad rap. It's underrated. Eggs have good protein in there. They're really good. Protein helps satisfy, helps to rebuild your muscles, which is really good for fat loss. Greek yogurt or any kind of, like I say, like yogurt in general has a bad rap, but Greek yogurt, you get the unsweetened, you keep away from the artificial stuff. Again, it has good protein. It's a really good option. It's very underrated. Fish, another one, right? Like fish, everybody thinks, oh, well, not too much fish, mercury. Fish is good. It's got the omegas, right? Why do you think a lot of people take the omega fatty acids and the extra supplements? Because they don't eat much fish. Fish is very underrated when it comes to fat loss. So in a nutshell, avoid those 10 things. Maybe start thinking of those other things that are pretty straightforward. If you want help as far as coaching, you can reach out to me. I'm not necessarily the right fit for everyone, but if you're looking for somebody that has expert advice, like you would go to your doctor or go take your car or go maybe and get some advice with your finances to think about how you're going to invest your money, right? You would go to the expert. You wouldn't want somebody to handle your money that doesn't know what they're doing, right? Because you could lose your money. It's no different than your health. If you don't have somebody that understands the body, that knows what you need, what you don't need to make sure you're making a good investment in your health, then you get the expert. For the right person, I'm that expert. And it just so happens that I have an amazing Black Friday sale going on right now through Monday, but I only have a handful of spots left. I have a few people confirming they've been out of town, but if you want to jump in, let's see if we're a good fit. Jump on a call and let's talk about it. Take care. I hope this helped. And I hope when you go into this holiday season, maybe into the new year, that you're thinking about what I talked about and these things that are overrated for fat loss. And maybe you've already experienced some of them, and maybe you even had some weight loss success and the weight's back on. And before you go back down that road, think of what I said today, and I hope it helps. Take care. God bless. Hope you have an amazing Saturday.